Hey there, marketing peeps. Today I'm going to be covering ethical marketing, one of my favorite topics to talk about. So don't go away. First, let's make a distinction. Marketing ethics refers to the principle and values that guide the behavior of marketers. Ethical marketing relates to promotional ethical marketing practices. So many marketing associations, for instance, have guidelines for marketing ethics that members need to abide by, whereas ethical marketing comes into play in the actual design of a strategy and the approach to engage potential customers. So let's look at these principles. First, transparency. So, an ethical marketing campaign will reveal all truths about the product to a customer, including ingredients, components, production processes, that sort of thing. Hiding fault in the product, of course, is unethical. Customer data protection, very important. So ethical marketers don't disclose customer information or should not without consent. One rule of thumb is for instance, when you're sending out emails to potential customers, it's good to ask for consent and have an unsubscribe button in order for them to opt out. This is the best ethical approach. Next is human rights compliance. So marketing campaigns should never offend any population groups. So in today's day and age, it's very important that we are inclusive. So no marketing message should alienate. Sustainability, of course, environmentalism, very important to consumers. People want to know more about your product, how it's sourced, your supply chain. Again, showing that products are sustainable and ethically produced is a great approach. All right, so what are some of the ethical issues that we face in marketing? Well, one of them is in research. This is a big one. So it really is very easy for research to become biased and swayed more in the favor of the company for profit. Another unethical approach is to gather information for research from customers without their knowledge or consent. Next, deceptive advertising. It's really unfortunate that this is still a thing. When we look at, for instance, late night TV ads for all manner of products that are really quite questionable, making claims about their services that they really can't live up to. This could be weight loss, hair gain, all of that silly stuff. Forceful selling. Now, forceful selling exploits human emotions to make a sale. So here, marketers only care about getting the product sold regardless of a customer's needs. Now, this is a tricky one because there are many ads that can manipulate emotions and they can't all be bad. So for instance, think of a summer ad on TV, barbecue, people drinking beer, pizza, eating pizza. Is this unethical? Or a car ad, for instance, appealing to somebody's ego to buy an expensive car. Is this unethical? So it's a fine line. But you know what? What isn't a fine line is to target groups, say, on a fixed income, promising them to make huge amounts of money through investing in certain products. So, for instance, the seniors population. And this is basically capitalizing on their frailty. And of course, this is playing on their emotions and is indeed very unethical. So, you know what? When I teach marketing in class, the whole ethical standpoint is really fascinating to me. And I find it fascinating to see how students interpret ethics. Because, of course, I think ethics sometimes can be perceived differently depending on your age, your background, your upbringing, all sorts of things. So right off the bat, if you've got thoughts about ethics in marketing, I want to hear them. I think this is a fascinating discussion. And quite frankly, we could do more videos and talk forever on this particular topic. But I mean, that's why I mentioned the fine line, and especially when we're getting into emotions. Because I mentioned, say a pizza ad or a beer ad, it is tapping on our sense of joy, which is an emotion. Is that unethical? There are life insurance ads. This is a big one, life insurance, where they will, of course, address death of a loved one. And the grieving process and sadness, but also fear. Fear is a very powerful tool that marketers can use. And if not used correctly, it does get into the unethical realm. Now, one area that I find really fascinating, and again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on, are breakfast foods for kids, right? So I can't speak to other countries, but certainly in North America, kids are really targeted in terms of breakfast foods like Cheerios, God, I don't even know the names, but they're all really sugary, high calorie type foods. The nutrition value is extremely minimal. So it's typically not very good for their health. But marketing firms, of course, will use animated characters, catchy tunes, colorful cereal boxes that catch the eye in the supermarket aisle. And of course, kids, if they're with their parents, will be, Mommy, I want to have this. I want to have crunchy crunch, cereal with Cracker Jack inside or whatever. And it's hard to refuse and hard to say, well, you know what, you're just going to have eggs on toast or whatever. So, yeah, I'm interested to know your thoughts because I think it's a balance, but it certainly does get into the unethical realm. I think another one is gambling, right? More and more, of course, we've got these gambling apps that people can use on their phones. And gambling is highly addictive. Maybe some people can do it for fun, but it is addictive. And there are a lot of ads that promote gambling. Alcohol consumption, again, right? Certainly in North America and most of Europe, alcohol is seen as normal. I mean, I drink beer, I'll have wine or whatever, and that is the way I've been brought up, and it's completely normal. But alcoholism is a thing. And, especially when we had the pandemic, and there were lockdowns, the rate of alcoholism went through the roof. I mean, people were basically using it as a way to treat their depression and their loneliness. So, all of these ads for beer and vodka and all of this sort of stuff, at what point are those unethical? Maybe they're not. I want to hear from you. You know what? One of the things that I say again in class is that I believe that as new marketers, a new breed of marketers, we have to take a stand. I've mentioned this before in other videos, but the term marketer gets a bad rap. when people think of marketers, they do think of these more negative, unethical approaches to promotion and to engaging with consumers. But there is such a thing as a thoughtful marketer, an ethical marketer. And certainly with my work with my clients, that is how I tend to position myself, as a more ethical marketer. And I believe that the new wave of marketer should be thinking about sustainability and environmentalism, should be thinking about inclusivity, right? And the rights of all, should be thinking about kids and how easily influenced they are. I think that unless we do our job as the new wave of marketer, we can make a change. At least that's what I believe. Maybe I'm being naive. But again, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate, of course, both good and bad commentary. I think it's all part of the great debate. So if you'd like to see more videos like this, as always, please share so that other people can enjoy the videos. If there's a marketing term that you'd like me to cover on a particular week, please mention it in the comments below. Please buy me a coffee if you feel like. That link is below and is always much appreciated. And also, I'd love for you to join me on my social channels. We've got Facebook, Instagram links, as well as LinkedIn. So please stay tuned as always. And together, yes, only together, will we solve it like a marketer.